Well, hello, Robert Heffernan with EndoTech, AI for FinTech. This is BlockChain Vitals, our weekly segment. Not only is it going to be a weekly, but we're going to talk about the monthly, since I haven't had a chance to do that for you yet here in 2020. And for Bitcoin in particular, we're going to talk the quarterly and the semi or half-year chart, because we've had a full roll now into all of those fractals, all right? And I love to look at all fractals top down, all right? Longer term, most important as far as I look at things. So we're going to get into that. And you know what? I'm not even going to do the rounds. We're going to go right to the vitals because there's a lot of information to cover here via the whispers can be whatever they want to be, but actual trading, when trading happens, when there's price discovery, for me, that's a much better picture because you're actually seeing who's coming to the table and putting their money where their mouth is. That is why fundamentals can be disjointed from the actual trading that is going on, because you can think whatever you want to think about the fundamentals, and the fundamentals actually can be whatever they are. But the betting public that actually engages in trading and holding positions and having an opinion backed up by a financial gain and loss is really the only important thing when it comes to price discovery. So, you know what, let's take the vitals and let's just start talking pricing. We call it the vital signs, right? If you're in the ER, you'd get the vital signs. A patient comes in and the doc would say, hey, what are the vitals? We look at the markets in a similar fashion, trying to gauge the health or weakness or unhealth of any particular asset we might be trading. And the vitals, therefore, are that. It's those numerical levels that tell you that give you an indication of the health or sickness that any particular asset might be. Anyway, Bitcoin, in fact, the whole complex, since the last time I talked to you, excuse me, a little healthier, right? A lot of the momentum levels, especially on the weeklies, have been taken out. Monthlies also get some reaction levels off of these monthly levels that we will talk about. So very important to look at all levels and gauge your trading with all of that information. All the information in the market is encompassed in that last price. So right now, Bitcoin trading 80.65 at Bitfinex, 80.65. Lower the weekly average on Bitcoin, 79.92. All right, and fully away now from that lower momentum level, 72.10. Lower mo on the weekly sheet, which is at EndoTech IO every day. Now 80.49. Did I read that all right? 80.49 is up mo on the daily. So you can see this fully rounding here as we are in up mo on the daily, out of lower mo on the weekly, approaching actually above the average. 79.92 is the weekly average. So as we get healthier here, we look at these other levels to target, right? The next level on the weekly, 87.75 is the weekly up momentum level, 87.70. I'm going to start talking on a weekly basis here. The sheet does a job there and gives you the value range for the previous day's trade. But very important here, especially looking out in a fractal, is to have that weekly value range, all right, where 70% of the volume traded. What was that weekly value range? And I will be supplying that on a weekly basis here on the weekly show. 77.11 to 81.73. Weekly value range in Bitcoin. Now, the reason why I say that is as I build my trading methodology, all right, we have obviously gained up momentum on the daily. All right, we're above the weekly average. That next target is 87.75 on the weekly. But that high of value on that weekly, 81.73, is going to be an area that we're going to need to take out, build time and volume above before we go take on that 87.75 level. So keep that weekly value range in mind. Very important to have that. 77.11 to 81.73 again, value range for the week in Bitcoin. Now, if we fractal out the monthly in Bitcoin, monthly 74.88 was that monthly moving average. Above that, room up to 9,961 up mo on the monthly. All right, and if we look even further out, the quarterly, the average is 67.72, and on the up momentum on the half-year chart, 87.41. So the half-year chart and the weekly chart, amazingly, very similar up momentum levels. Anyway, sometimes too much information just confuses you. If you look at any particular, charting platform, there's hundreds and hundreds of indicators. And then there's different parameters that drive those indicators that can be varied. Literally an infinite number of combinations of indicators that you could apply to your trading methodology. My point here is that you got to build your own methodology. It's got to make sense to you. You got to take the indicators in that makes you a better trader, that makes you a better decision maker, that makes you a better risk manager. Those are the important things, all right? And since it's an infinite number of indicators and possibilities there, you can really get confused by it. That's why I think simpler is better. I really look at just a few things, right? Value ranges and momentum levels, and I let those guide me. You're going to let something else guide you, and that's fine, but build a disciplined trading methodology around something. And EndoTech IO, we give you a great basis for that with their pivot model, the value range model, and the standard deviation modeling. Anyway, enough of that. Let's keep talking price discovery. Ether right now trading 142.50. Weekly average 155.75 and fully out of lower momentum now on the weekly 134.86 in Ether, that lower mo level. Up mo on the daily, not even close to that. That's a 163 level. Again, Ether and the crosses, there's one cross that I'm looking at that I kind of like. I liked it yesterday, not so much today, as Bitcoin Litecoin. But the crosses haven't been, they look like they wanted to do some shaking and moving, but not so much today. But anyway, Ether, the last, a little healthier, obviously, than the last time we talked, as they were fully in lower momentum on the weekly, and well above that, need to take 155.75. And then on the monthly chart, that lower mo on the monthly, 130.57. So what above there, but I got to tell you, we've got some strength here. You really don't want to see these things turn around and repenetrate. A lot of these are closer to that monthly lower momentum than Bitcoin is. So for sure, you want to see, if you are a bull, them maintain these levels. XRP trading 21.04. XRP is one of those, has not traded back out of lower momentum on the monthly. 23.98 lower mo on the monthly in XRP. And it has just kind of been the whipping boy here. 21.05 last. Finally out of lower mo on the weekly, though, which is 1986. 1986. Weekly average at 23.46. But again, 23.46 weekly average, 23.98 lower mo on the monthly. Need to see XRP out of the precarious chart position that it is in. Litecoin, as I said, over the weekend, looking healthier against Bitcoin, but not so much today. Anyway, trading 49.48 Litecoin, 49.48. Weekly average is at 49.96. Weekly lower momentum 42.75. Monthly lower momentum 41.61. So the same general area. And again, that's the type of level that if we see some weakness, you don't want to see it go back, trade back below that level and trade and close, especially close the week. I know we got a lot of time left below that 42.75. And these things have been a fairly sizable range last week, so anything is possible. EOS trading 309 last, EOS 309. Weekly average 291, monthly lower momentum 254. Keep those levels in mind. BNB trading 1501 last, weekly average 1639, weekly lower momentum 1383. On that monthly chart, monthly lower momentum 11. Keep it in mind. Rounding it out here, and hold on, let's show you the daily on these last ones. XMR, you know what? I was dyslexic and I did XLM instead of XMR on my sheet. So let's go to it and talk about the weekly XMR. Weekly, toying with weekly up-mo at 6103. XMR 5764 last. Weekly average at 5555. Weekly lower momentum 5007. And if we go out to the monthly in XMR, see, I can do that just that quick. Weekly or monthly average 6520, monthly lower momentum 4950. So again, a lot of these, so the first week of the year, first week and a half, have pulled up out of their lower mo levels, weeklies and monthlies. So for sure, for the start of the year, a positive sign. The question is can they keep the momentum going? And I will say this, that we did see a full validation that when geopolitical events happen, cryptos are now one place, especially Bitcoin, that people are going to. So keep that in mind as a flight to quality now seems to be Bitcoin. Amazingly. All right, and rounding up the top 8, Tron, just always in the news here with Tron and Justin Sun and the amount of dApps, the amount of use, the transactions per second. From a use case thing, I'm not sure there is a more compelling story than Tron out there. Now, the chart is another thing, and we trade the chart, not the news. Let's remember that. So Tron, not quite yet out of lower mo on the monthly. Lower mo on the monthly, 0158. Tron right now trading 0146. Out of lower mo on the weekly, though, 0136. So again, maybe a long-term bottom has been put in here. Obviously, a lot of trading ahead of us here, but for Tron, for me, to want to be involved, it's got to show something here and take out that monthly lower momentum level, 0158. Now, this is call it, 5 for sure. 4 out of the last 5 months trading in lower, 5 out of the last 6 months trading in lower momentum on the monthly. Not particularly healthy if Tron came to the ER. It'd be like long-term, a long-term disability, not able to trade out of lower momentum on the monthly. Out of lower mo on the weekly, though, so maybe we got some strength there. I got to tell you, Tron is one that just befuddles me because I'm not sure I believe in its decentralized nature, whether that's true or not. But on the other side, the use case cannot be denied. The amount of transactions per second cannot be denied. So for me, a very difficult one. It seems like it's going to stick around. But for me to want to be involved from a financial standpoint, it's got to show me something on the charts. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Thank you so much for watching. Be disciplined, trade disciplined, build a trading methodology out of solid technical indicators. And believe me, you won't go broke unless you're undisciplined and don't get out when the market is against your particular trading program, which is always another story. Anyway, I'll be back next week for another segment of Blockchain Vitals on a weekly segment. Till then, be disciplined, trade disciplined. Thank you for watching.